So this is my dinner tonight. I got some bread. I got some wine. Arr. I'm have a thoughtful evening, I guess, because you got to make decisions in life, and I'm in charge of some things sometimes. I'm in charge of beings. And we're all in charge of each other in a lot of ways. We're all leaders every single day with every moment we make. We affect the world around us. We create the world around us. And I'm thinking about that a lot with a lot of relationships that I have with everything I relate to. I hope you do too. Well, in this case, I'm going to kill my dog. I could say I'm going to put my dog to sleep, but that's not the same. Death is not sleep. And I'm not a big fan of euphemisms. My dog is not going to pass away, although if she died tonight on her own, that would be more like passing away, I guess, to some other place. I'm going to murder my dog, although that word's a bit strong, because perhaps it implies malintent, and I don't intend any harm to her. But the word killing is correct. It's true. I'm going to end her life. Not tonight. And I'm going to do it in the nicest way I can, because I really don't even want to do it at all. I really don't want to do it. I wish I could have this puppy in my life for a long time more. She was born here, in this forest, and I held her as a puppy in my hand. I have a picture of her in my hand, being a little confused. What do you call a little puppy when they're so young? They don't even know what's going on. She's the last one. So she's not just one dog for me. I had a golden retriever once. Named and her it's actually pretty funny. Her name is Goldie. Was Goldie. And I actually bought her, Goldie, in Pottsboro, and I was told she was 2 years old. Bullshit. She's like 10 years old or something. The old lady dog. And it's easy to rip off a dumbass gringo, I guess. Anyway, I was totally happy with her, and she's the only golden retriever I've ever owned. And I got her, and she was here, and she's just a sweetheart, lovely dog. And a strong, very strong dog, but mostly sweetheart. And she had 3 puppies. And then I was in Mexico City working on a movie, a simple movie, and then I got a phone call that she had 5 more puppies. And then, of course, I came back, and I was thrilled with the puppies, but you know, it's hard to be a dog daddy of that many puppies. And when she had the puppies, I had some house sitters. But, you know, 8 young dogs was a lot. Yeah, 8 dogs, 8 puppies. And each one of them had their own path, and there was adventures with each one. And I could tell you all their names, I think. Let's try it. There was in the original pack, Mambo, Contreras, and I think Patsari was in the original pack, the original 3. And then there was 5, and it was Mambo 2, and he was named that because I gave him away to some friends in a nearby town. And then there was Hippie and Sebastian, Contreras 2. Oh wait, Contreras was one of the original pack because there was 2 Contrerases. Batsari and Spaz. Probably missing somebody in there. Anyway, don't worry about that. There was a bunch of little tiny black puppies, and they grew up to be big black dogs. And the Contrerases, 1 and 2, had some coloring on them. They were interesting, and both of them were kind of contrary. That's why they got named that. I didn't know that was a last name, actually, when I named them that. Spaz got named Spaz because Spaz is kind of spasmodic, like Spazzy, you know? Somebody criticized me online for naming her that like I was insulting someone, and it's like, no, I'm just describing the dog. That's it. And all of those dogs had their own path and adventures. Mambo was big and dumb and excellent. Just a loyal, wonderful dog, but too adventurous. I have a theory that his sterilization didn't work, and so he went out adventuring, looking for, you know, some fun. Anyway, he would come back after a long time, a couple days, a few days, beat up, cut up. Yeah, but he'd make it back, and he did it for a while before finally he didn't come back. And unfortunately, he also took another dog with him named Honey Cupcake, who was a sweetheart, a totally different dog. Anyway, so Spaz is the last of the black dogs, and she's alive right now. She's alive right over there, down there on a different floor, refusing to sleep in a nice bed that I've put next to her. So this is thoughts about Spaz. That's what this video is. Because you have to make tough decisions in life, and I'm making some right now. And I'm going to share my thoughts with you honestly. She's old. She's had a great life. Amazing dog. Really. I always thought she would die really young because she was so literally spazzy. Like, she would just quake with excitement about whatever. And I thought I don't know, I just didn't imagine how such a being could stay alive. But she's done very well. She's lived in town. I gave her away to a friend of mine, and she lived over there for a while. And she was a good dog for them. But, you know, she decides where she wants to be. Nobody's in charge of her, including me. And so she could be over here, and then she'd be over there, and be over here. And lately, for the past few years, she's been here because she likes it, you know. And I'm happy to have her. I'm thrilled. She's gotten older, and I've wondered what to do with her. Because, you know, getting old changes you. And age is not just a number. Age is a biological function of being older. So, some lady in the local town said, hey, can I have a dog of yours? Because, you know, I had a variety of dogs. I said, sure, take this dog. And so I gave a leash and the dog to the lady. I didn't get the leash back, but Spaz came back. No surprise, because you either gotta like trap Spaz Or Spaz will do whatever the fuck she wants. Sorry. Well, that's extremely offensive to weaklings. So anyway, Spaz, just keeps going. And Spaz is a leader, and she's vicious as she needs to be. She's dominant, alpha, female, whatever. And she's an admirable being, I guess. Because she does what she wants, and even though she's afraid of, like, thunderstorms, she's afraid of fireworks, so she'll hide out all the rest of the time, except for loud noises. She's just thrilled to be alive. She's a person I should emulate, And, so... But now she's old, and she's gotten older quicker, and the aging process have kind of sped up, recently, Spaz was attacked by the other dogs very heavily, and luckily I was there, I guess. Spaz would not be alive right now if I wasn't nearby, because I heard in the orchard this horrible sound of not okay dog activity of mean attackingness. And sometimes they attack wild animals. I mean, I have a wild pack, right? They're strong. And they're good with people and everything. They don't kill people. But in the past, that group of black dogs actually killed 3 cows, and I had to pay for them. So when I say strong pack, I mean strong. Like with strong, sharp teeth that are willing to kill stuff. And there's been some other cases where my dogs are strong enough that they killed things. And I'm not saying that with any pride, okay? Not like strong is not good in that kind of case. Like they do things that are ethically wrong. Like, I don't want to say it right now. I'm thinking mainly about Spaz. And Spaz has always been a good girl. She'll join in on some violence, if there's some violence to happen. But she's always just been a lovely dog to me. And so, anyway, she's a black dog. She kind of has almost a beard, So she's a little bit of a bearded lady. She could be in a dog circus, although it's not that impressive. In the morning, she's always so excited about everything. Even as an old lady, she's always so excited about everything. And so, unfortunately, the time has come for her to die. And I don't know whether that is now or not. Today I was in town. And I talked to a veterinarian, because if you want to kill a dog, I went down there to ask, for the drugs to kill the dog. I was going to do it myself, because I don't want to take her to town and give her the extra stress of being in the car and all that. And I generally like to do things myself if I can, do it well. But I'm not always good at doing things myself either. I'm not a big DIY guy, do-it-yourself guy. Although I provide a space where people can do things themselves, and I like the idea of independence and stuff. But I was looking for just a way to help her, and I'll tell you why. And I'm going to explain myself, because I don't take it lightly at all. And although the word murder is too strong, I'm not going to go with the euphemisms, and I'm going to say I'm going to kill my dog. And it's my decision, it's my dog. It's a domesticated animal that I have great respect for, and I have great respect for the human-dog relationship. But with any being that is increasing in suffering, I'm going to help them not suffer more. And I'll even take that to heart myself. If I'm suffering too much, I'm out of here. I own me. Now, unfortunately, she can't make that decision. And I'll tell you the reasons, because I would like to explain why I would kill my dog, you know. It's a hard decision, and I know that I'm not the only person who's made this decision in the world, and it's a personal thing, and I know I'll be criticized for anything I say. It's fine. But I also want to engage in conversation about why we're alive and how we deal with death, and I'm willing to try and explain that. So if you don't like what I'm saying, well, okay. But I'm doing my best to do a good job in the world and communicate. And I'll tell you this, I love that dog. I really do. So, and I, you know, this might not be the shortest video in the world because I don't think it's a cut and dried thing. And anybody who wants to comment and say it is, well, fuck your comment. And whatever. You make your choices, right? But most people I think in the world are very guilty of evil things. So I'm just trying to make good decisions, and one of the decisions I've made is to share my decision making with other people. And this is very personal, really. There's a dog downstairs who I might kill tomorrow. And I've already made the appointment. The vet is coming up at 5 o'clock tomorrow to give the dog one injection to anesthetize, to remove pain and things. And the other one's going to be an intravenous one in the leg, I guess. That was the impression I got, to do something that kills the dog. Now, I'll tell you, I killed a mother. I had a vet up. It's going to be a different vet this time if I do it tomorrow. I mean, he's going to come. That's the plan. But the other vet I have, which is really a cool vet also, he came up and with Spaz's mom, I carried Goldie, the golden retriever, the mom of all the black dogs, a very important dog, up to the orchard. And I waited a while, you know. She was just getting older and older. And I could feel her falling apart in my arms. I could just, her organs were like just, everything was, and she looked at me and her eyes were soft. She was totally fine with me. I mean, I'm her daddy, right? I'm her God. And I carried her up there and I laid her down in the orchard. And there was a vet and two other guys he brought. And they were very respectful, nice guys. And it was hard for me because, you know, I don't like death. Fuck death. And so, anyway, so we injected her, and she died, and we buried her right there in the orchard. And I didn't feel bad about it at all, because, you know, she wasn't really able to walk anymore, and she just sadder and sadder, and it was a favor. I believe this for people too, by the way. I think that people should check out when they want to. I think people should have control over their own body and lives. I'm very freedom-oriented. But in this case, it's tough because I'm another being deciding for some other being, you know, when they're going to die. And in general, we're evolved to not want to die. I don't want to die. Usually. Considering the state of the world, I'm not sure I always want to be here. But in any case, we're talking about dogs and other people, and the difficulty of this decision is really hard. Spaz, who's always been spazzy, and wonderfully so, it's not an insult, okay, has cataracts, I think, in her eyes. Her eyes are cloudy, and she can't see very well. So lately I have to show her where the food is to eat it. I just did it like an hour ago. And she can't hear, apparently. Somebody else noticed that. I didn't notice that. I don't give a shit. But like they'd say that, two people have told me that Spaz can't hear anything. So that's probably true. I don't care. Spaz is happy. So I want to keep Spaz alive as long as I can. And just recently I said, I want to get a year or two more out of this dog. I just want her to keep having a good time. And she doesn't cause a lot of trouble. She's a sweetheart. I mean, she has caused some trouble, but she's usually following somebody else who's causing trouble, so she's a trouble follower. But she's just one of the most amazing dogs I've known. I do have a different dog who's my more favorite dog, and she'll always be my favorite dog. But Spaz has just been such a great part of the pack. She's fairly dominant, and she's willing to be a total bitch, And I guess I can call her a total bitch because, well, she's a female dog, and that is a technical term. And I don't think she's like a total bitch about being a bitch. I think that's just something she does because she's running her own life, and she eats first. So, how do I decide to kill my dog or not? I mean, I'm tempted to call the vet up in the morning and just say, "Don't come." But right now, I've got to walk her around. Right now, she's downstairs. She's protected. The fact you can't see or hear is almost irrelevant, okay? Because you could have a very happy dog living for years without being able to see or hear. That's cool. So the disability part actually isn't that important. The very important part, the most important part, is the dog's trying to kill her. And that's really stressful for me and super stressful for her. When you got 4 or 5 other dogs around you trying to rip the flesh off of you until you're dead, which is what happens with old dogs. I mean, if you look at wolf packs and things and how aging occurs, there's a lot of respect for the aged, and then it's time to get the fuck out. This might be true for people too. It's going to be true for me. And when it comes time for me to die, I hope I get the fuck out. Sorry, I know I'm not supposed to say fuck because some people are weaklings. But, yeah, there's time to die. One of my favorite books in the Bible is Ecclesiastes. And there's a time to die. Oh, if you haven't read that book in the Bible, I recommend it. You don't have to be a Christian or anything. It's still a good book. Proverbs is also good. So back to the topic at hand, which I'm trying to avoid, is that I've made an appointment to kill my dog. I'm not going to personally do it, but I'm going to pay for it, which is the same thing. When you pay for someone to die, you're responsible for their death. And I'll just make a brief mention of paying taxes in the United States as being part of, killing people. But I don't want to offend my friends or anything. Maybe I do, because I wish they wouldn't do that kind of thing. But anyway, so she could stay alive a couple more months. The last few nights, I thought she would die that night. After the dogs attacked her, she was in such bad shape, shaking all over, not eating, not drinking. Just now, I took her outside and on a leash because I need to control where she's at so she doesn't get killed by their dogs. And she ate some food and she drank some water. And then I tried to get her to sleep on the bed. And she's sleeping next to the bed. She doesn't like the bed. Maybe she's too hot. I don't know. So she might die tonight. I mean, she's on the way out. That is the case. And that's why I don't feel too bad about killing her, is because I know it's going to happen. And the vet will charge me. I don't really care about the money. It's not that much. It's 300 pesos, $15, to have somebody show up to my home in the middle of the woods. But the vet also likes me, so like he's doing us a favor, you know. And then, you know, he'll get paid and everything, and he's got his drugs to pay for, and so we're gonna kill the dog. That's the current plan. And even though right now I just took her out and she ate food, which was cool to watch, and she drank water, I'm conflicted, I guess. I just feel like I could keep her alive longer, but how much longer? It would cost. And I thought even like I could post a message and some gringos in Pátzcuaro could adopt her, and I could say, hey, I have this old dog that could like spend time with you, and she's really mellow, which she is. She's a total sweetheart, and she's never lived outside this Bosque. She never lived somewhere else, and so I kind of hate to kind of pass her off to some gringo retirement home where she's going to die anyway, and I don't know if any of those people would want her anyway. I don't think that life is so sacred that we have to protect it at all costs. I think there is a time to die. I mean, I think about death a lot, and there's a time when I want to die, and I'm not sure how far that out it is. But I'm not super afraid of it. I want to die, actually. Although I have some things I have to do first that are very important to me. So dying doesn't scare me. Of course, sometimes dying correlates with pain and stuff. But that's actually what I'm trying to avoid here. I don't want her to have pain. And I did check her teeth, and they're okay. And she still is a tiny bit happy. But I know who Spaz is. And I'm her dad. And I love her. And I would not want to ever hurt her. So even if I kill her, I don't want to hurt her. That might sound a bit strange. But life is temporary for all of us. And dogs teach us about death, I think. I don't have a lot of personal experience with human death. I certainly am not a fan, and I don't want to support it, even though civilization in general seems suicidal. And I think that we're killing ourselves all the time. And the consumerist lifestyle, the industrial lifestyle is killing us. We're killing ourselves. We, in this case, includes me not as much as it does you, probably. Good luck in your own decisions. I'm not criticizing you. You do whatever the hell you want, but you're probably killing the world and yourself. I'll kill myself in my own ways. So I'm comfortable with death in some ways, but to be a person responsible for choosing about someone else's death, you know, like doctors deal with that, and family members deal with that, making choices about whether someone should live or die is an extreme decision. And I know that most people in the world act in ways where they do kill other people actively, but they don't know that they're doing it. Like if they're very insulated from it, maybe they're just buying products, clothing, electronics, and things that kill people in other places and poison the land. Maybe they eat food that destroys the earth. Maybe they live a lifestyle where they're poisoning the atmosphere, and climate change will kill them. But that's all abstract, right? So it's not like they're sticking a knife in somebody's throat. So they don't really understand the consequences of their action because they've chosen to be ignorant. And being stupid is not an excuse. You choose to be ignorant. Well, I'm not ignorant about what I'm doing. I'm going to kill my dog. Or somebody else is going to kill my dog, or maybe old age will happen and kill my dog. I don't know. I'm going with killing my dog. I'm going to do it. I'm going to kill my dog. And I'm not committing to that. I have an appointment. Death is going to come to visit me tomorrow at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And tomorrow I'm going to get a shovel and I'm going to build a grave for that dog. The dog I love. And I don't feel bad about it. Obviously I have emotions about it. You can hear it in my voice. Sorry. I'm not a tough guy, motherfucker, you know. I care deeply about my dog. And I don't think that's wussy. You know, I have a relationship with this dog. This dog has protected me. This dog has served me. This dog is my friend. Not to mention, this dog is a fucking freak. Weird dog. Very, very good weird dog. So tonight, I took her out on a leash because I don't want her to get away and get killed by the other dogs. I just don't want to deal with the violent death, you know. I don't want a violent death. I'll probably have one. Totally possible. But I would prefer a peaceful death. Timothy Leary had a cool death. He was, you know, a very smart guy who had an expanded consciousness with the use of some interesting tools. And he had nice people around him when he died. Now, I don't personally know the details of that, but it seems like that was a good choice. And even with euthanasia, for example, where people choose to die, some people are okay with it. You know, if it's like some cute woman with a terminal illness and she goes and travels the world before she goes to Switzerland and they kill her there in a nice way. And that's interesting. But I think that, you know, the option of checking out should be available to everybody as a business, as a service, and with many safeguards, because some people who decide that they don't want to be here anymore, of course, should have a little delay on the decision and maybe some help, because we don't want to lose the investment in the wonderful people we have in the world. On the other hand, people who have severe mental disorders that, you know, desire to kill other people and stuff should, like, some of them go kill other people and then they kill themselves. And it's like, why don't you just start with yourself? That would be cooler. I'd be in favor of that if you're going to go on that path. But that's not really a Spaz. Spaz hasn't directly been responsible for the killing of anyone, although she's been part of a pack. So she's not bloodless, although after she got attacked, there was blood. I got blood on my jacket. Oh, my jacket, under this jacket, because I'm in a cold building. And her ear got bit. She got damaged on the top of her head. And she was going to fight till they ripped her to pieces. So that is not going to be how she dies. And that's my goal. Because dogs are dogs. And they're vicious fucks. They will kill the old weak one who used to be the alpha. So I'm going to make sure that doesn't happen. I just aesthetically don't want it. Who knows? Maybe that's the best way for her to go out. Maybe she's like a warrior. But these are her friends, you know. So I'm just not into it. And I'll tell you, when I want to go, I want to have the tools available. And I prefer if it's legal and someone could help me a little bit, because I don't want to mess it up if I want to kill myself. But I can do it. And suicide is actually legal in this state, in particular in Mexico. So somebody should start a business regarding that. I could start one myself, but I don't feel like it. Like, I think it's good business to exist, but I don't want to personally be responsible for it. So, but when I want to die, I know what pills to take, and I know how to check myself out, and I'm going to do it sometime. But I have work to do first. Back to Spaz. Should I kill my dog? Your opinion doesn't matter to me. You know, some people are going to say I'm evil for even thinking of it. Or, I don't know what, people say dumbass shit. But I'm going to do it with a vet, because they know more than I do, and I don't want to mess up, you know. I just wanted to have a nice peaceful exit. Peaceful exit. I would like a peaceful exit. And is it too soon for her? I don't know. I took her out on a leash to go look for food and water tonight, protect her and get that, and she drank water and she ate food. So yeah, I could keep her alive a little bit longer. And it's not like she's in the hospital with tubes in her or something. I don't know. I mean, I gotta make a life will. I don't know what they're called. But I need to, like, do not resuscitate, which is actually slightly controversial, because you may be in a temporarily bad position where if you say do not resuscitate in the United States, for example, someone wouldn't be able to help you, even though it's the particular problem that's occurring. They could help you, and then you could keep living. So it's almost like do not resuscitate needs some more gradations of gray, you know, of like, well, in this case, this, and not that, you know, we want to make it really complicated for first responders and EMTs and doctors, but maybe I would like to specify don't resuscitate in this case, in this case, in this case, do resuscitate in this case, that case, that case, or if you tried to resuscitate and then it works out this way, then pull the plug. And there's families that make those hard decisions. My suspicion is that those people probably feel a little bit lonely in their decision. I don't know if they've hooked up online with their decisions, but it's a hard decision to decide to kill someone else, or pull the plug, or put them to sleep, and the euphemisms we could use that I'm not a fan of. Other people, other than me, have a lot more experience with human death than I do. You know, and some of them will probably say, it's just a fucking dog, who cares? Well, I'll tell you who cares. I fucking care. I love that dog. So, even though I shouldn't give a shit, and I should just say it's a dog, kill it, you know. Maybe I'm a bad warrior. But, you know, this dog is on my army. This is my dog. This is in my family. So that might seem a little weird, and I know I've used the word person for this dog. But that's because it's an entity that has feelings and cares about things that I have experience with, and it really is part of my family. It's part of my success path. It's a way for me to be alive. It's part of my team, you know? And I care about that. And dogs are loyal. I trust dogs more than humans. Granted that dogs do horrible things, and they're messy, they're stinky, they're gross. But dogs are part of my life that I trust more than an unknown person. You know, and I've hosted in this space over 3,000 people. I got a guy showing up in 2 days who I don't know and who doesn't have a very good social profile. And I've got other people here I'm supposed to protect. And so I don't trust this guy. I don't trust anybody. Now, I'm going to still have him here. But everybody that comes here, I'm going to watch them hard. And especially if they don't have a background, you know, or anything to prove that they're a good person. So I like dogs better than people in a lot of ways. I trust them more. I can tell if a dog doesn't like me. People lie. Dogs lie a little bit, not very much. Dogs are honest. So back to Spaz. I'm making life or death decisions. Right now, she's okay. And I can either call off the angel of death or let it happen. When I go out with her and I feed her some water and some food on a leash, protecting her, I'm tempted, hey, I could get more, maybe I could get 3 weeks more out of her. But it's not 3 weeks of fun and happiness and playing. She's been her whole life. And I have so many memories of her just being so happy and playing and investigating things and doing things and protecting me. I mean, when I say protect, it's not a joke, you know. 2 times there's been, well, I don't want to say, but my dogs will protect me even if death is staring them in the face. My dogs will jump into the face of a gun being cocked to kill them. We evolved with dogs. Dogs got closer and closer to us. As we learned how to hunt, we had fire. We threw our scraps away, and the dogs came closer. And we said, well, those particular wolves, they weren't dogs, they were wolves. Those particular wolves are a little friendlier. And this happened over probably 10,000 years, where we evolved wolves into dogs because we were compatible. The dog-human relationship evolved in a deep way, unlike any other domesticated animal. There's no wild dogs that are like magically with humans. Maybe there's feral dogs and stuff, but they came from wolves. We're their genetic friends. We help each other. We helped each other create civilization. And they're not just pets. They co-evolved. So I have a great respect for dogs. I wish I had a pleasant way to kill the dog myself. I don't want other people involved. I like my vets. They're cool. I know 2 cool vets, you know, in rural Mexico. But it feels so personal. But that's okay. These guys know what they're doing, and I don't want to fuck it up. And the ways that I could kill my dog would be, for me, not so pleasant. Just like with people, I mean, it's a shame that people don't have easier ways to kill themselves. More, simple, hygienic ways. You shouldn't have to strangle yourself with a belt if you want to check out. And there's been some famous people who have had to strangle themselves with a belt to check out. And that's just not the way it should go. It should be a comfortable thing. Almost like, birthing shouldn't be, in a hospital with doctors who are predisposed to give cesareans and stuff and not give a shit about the actual individual mother, who's kind of an important person. And they just don't care, they got the drugs, they get it, they make it happen. Well, there's bad ways to commit suicide, and there's good ways. I would be in favor of the good ways. So for birthing, I think birthing centers are cool, and let's keep things mellow and support the mother. Water births are kind of cool. I'm not an expert on births, okay? I know a lot more about death than I know about births. But it should be good, and Death is the same way. I'm anti-war. I'm anti most of the ways people die, actually. I'm not a big fan of like keeping people on a bunch of medical apparatus as long as you can until you suck all the money out of them until there's nothing left and they die anyway. So I'm in favor of a good checkout system, good exit, nice exit. And that's what I guess I want to give this dog. And I might change my mind in the morning about when it's going to happen, but I'm not surprised that this is going on because I've seen the path and she's getting older and I'm trying to give her everything I can, but I do not want to see her ripped apart by other dogs. It's the same as I want for people. I don't want to see them ripped up by other people, even though that's how a lot of people die, just ripped apart by oppression and evil. So in her case, it's simpler. The dog path is pretty straightforward. And I do like my other dogs a lot, but they're going to kill her. And if I look away for a moment, if she gets out for a moment, they're just going to murder her. And I guess I'd rather that she go out in a little bit nicer way. So that's my arguments for euthanasia, for my dog, and it's probably happening tomorrow. So tomorrow morning, I'm going to go get my shovel, and I'm going to dig a grave. I remember I was with my dad when he dug a grave in the graveyard for his dad. And I guess the graveyard people could have done it. It was a graveyard, but my dad chose to do it himself. My dad was an odd dude. And I guess in this case, I know it's just a dog, but it's a being that I've committed to. I don't commit to much. It's very hard to make me make a promise. And I feel like I've been with this dog so long, and she serves so well. I love her. So I guess I'll dig her grave tomorrow. And that's the kind of thinking I guess you gotta do if you're gonna be responsible for an animal, or probably a person. It's tough. Well, good luck to you in your dealings with death. I don't like to think about death a lot, but death has been a part of my life. Death is always waiting for me. Death waits for you. Wine is medicine. But then we got to get to work. Sweet dreams.